Jedd Hughes, back in the house.
How you doing, mate?
Awesome.
Fantastic.
So, everybody wanted you back, so I got to bring you back. But you mentioned acoustic stuff.
Yeah.
You are quite the acoustic player, and you're good at getting tones, which is awesome.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to maximize the acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
In solo settings and, in band settings, but especially solo because a lot of the shows I play, it's just me,
Yeah, it's a tricky beast.
It is a tricky beast, man. It is a mountain to climb and to figure out how to, get a good sound.
And then not have lawnmowers in the background.
How to shut up the neighbors.
Be quiet! Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. Okay, so before we get started, make sure to subscribe to Jedd's channel. I'm going to leave his links down below. Subscribe, click the bell, do all that stuff. He's going to be posting more frequently on YouTube, and he's also a fantastic songwriter and producer, so it's not just going to be guitar stuff.
Thanks, man.
He's a wealth of information and one of the best cats in town. So,
Thanks, mate.
You're welcome. You got an interesting little setup going here. Break it down, and then we'll show them.
Yeah.
What you're thinking.
In my lifelong quest to get as much as I can out of the acoustic guitar in a solo situation, I've kind of found this combination of mic and effects, plugging direct. I mean, we can get into the pickups and all that. And I've tried a million of those. And I'm still kind of on the search somewhat, although I'm really happy with what's going on now.
Okay, so typically, though, it's a lot of times people will just mic and acoustic, and that's it.
Right.
But you like blending the mic, and also you have a pickup in your acoustic that goes out, and you've got it going into an amp.
Yeah.
So you combine the two sounds to get...
Combine the two sounds, yeah. And I sort of lean on the mic more, and whatever's happening effect-wise is, sort of more of a shadow in the background.
Yeah.
But I do find that it gives you more sustain, and it fills out the direct sound that you often get from an acoustic guitar pickup.
Yeah, because, that can be uninspiring.
It can be uninspiring, yeah. I mean, it could be a total buzzkill,
Totally.
And that was the thing in the beginning of getting up there with an acoustic guitar by yourself and playing, and then realizing, well, I don't have a lot of decay.
Yeah.
There's not much going on. And so I started to develop my left hand more to where I could get more sustain without using any of this stuff, naturally.
What?
And then...
Come on.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, totally.
All right. We got to go down that road, too.
All right.
Open that door.
You want to start there?
No. Let's get this out of the way with really quick.
Okay.
But we'll leave the hardest part for last.
All right, great. Yeah, it is the hardest part. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, this stuff's easy.
Yeah.
So what I do is, right now I'm using this Bags Lyric pickup.
Okay.
Which I will say only works for me in a solo situation. It doesn't work with a band.
Okay. Is there one that you like with a band?
I think there is a more deluxe version of this called an Anthem, I think, which has a piezo as well.
Okay.
Which I do find in general that setup works better with a band.
Is this the one where it has an internal mic inside the acoustic?
Yeah, this is just the mic. I mean, this is a really old guitar, and the piezo wouldn't work with this saddle. So I had to just go with a mic, which is fine because I only play it by myself anyway.
Yeah, so it's like a mic actually inside the sound hole down there.
Yeah, it's mounted to the bottom of the bridge.
Okay.
Yeah, and it works great. And with that, I find you get more body, more air. You just feel like you're playing your guitar in the room. Yeah. As opposed to more of the direct sound that you get. Plugged into a PA.
Yeah. It's like plugging an electric straight into a board.
Yeah, totally.
It can be a little uninspiring.
Yeah.
Unless you're David Gilmour.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Okay, and so the mic is this? Obviously we could probably do this with a number of. These are condenser mics, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And you can mic an acoustic with a dynamic mic, but it seems like 9 times out of 10, it's with a condenser.
Yeah.
And then is this particular one like...
I love this. This is the ear trumpet mic, small condenser.
Okay.
Small diaphragm condenser.
Now, will it pick up on both sides, or do you have one side shielded off?
It's got a good rear rejection.
Okay.
So it works live. I see a lot of people using them live.
Oh, cool.
Sound guys seem to like it,
Yeah.
which is always a good sign, you know.
And you said the price point isn't that bad.
Yeah, they're not too expensive.
Yeah.
$500-$700 you can find them, you know.
Eat that with a stick.
Yeah, I mean, you know, once you get into using a microphone live, you kind of, you know, you want to be really nice to your sound guy.
Yeah.
And understand that you can only get so much through the monitors before that starts feeding back. So it is sort of a dance of, you know, taking a little bit of time to get your setup and the ratios of mic to pick up and all that stuff right.
Yeah.
And in general, I try to get as low a monitor level as I can on stage so I can hear the room and the big PA when I'm playing those kinds of places.
That makes sense.
Because I like to bounce off that sound anyway. I mean, to me, that's what's most
a trip.
inspiring.
Like if you've never heard that before, like hearing your guitar bounce back off the back wall is it's like the best natural reverb ever.
Yeah, it's a joy, man.
Yeah.
When you feel the sustain of what you're getting out of the guitar, like big in the room. It's like, oh my God, it's so fun.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so you go out of your pickup into a deluxe reverb amp. And then, so that signal, let's talk about that first, and then we'll talk about kind of where you like to place the actual mic itself.
Yeah. So on the pedal board, I'm going out of the guitar into the pedal board. This is my electric pedal board today, which is fine. That works great. I just like to have a little bit of verb. I like a bit of tremolo every now and then on the acoustic.
Yeah.
For certain songs, it's kind of, you know, it shifts the character a little bit.
Right.
And then I have a little bit of verb on the amp, and I have the amp at pretty low level. Mm-hmm. It's more just to create just that like subtle undertone of something else is going on. Yeah. In the sound.
Deluxe wise, what do you typically set like the amp for? Like how do you set your tone controls, and then like you use the reverb on the amp too to kind of give it some space? Yeah.
I try to get just enough cut out of the amp to where I can hear the attack of just my bare fingers. Okay. And then the low end, I'm not really too concerned about with the amp. Yeah. So I just get just enough to like have it be full, but you know, I don't want any kind of like feedback issues with the low end with the amp. Yeah. And then the verb is subtle, you know, like 2 or 3, just a little bit of spring to give it some decay.
Well, do me a favor, play like a couple chords and stuff like that, and then I'll have my editor just give that signal out so they can hear it. Turn on that one pedal. So good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The long
the guide tone or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you gotta have that.
Dude.
Isn't that great?
We're not going to tell you what this pedal is, because I need to get one on reverb before you can't get it anymore. It's so good. God, that thing, I mean, that is like a secret weapon. I'm going to blur it out on your pedal board.
It's funny, man. I mean, I just bought it on a whim because it had this one little setting. I was like, oh, that could be interesting. And I love oddball things, you know. I have way too many, and you know, my wife is just like, oh my God, what's that? Yeah.
Something awesome?
Something awesome, possibly.
It's a spice. It's like turmeric. How are you supposed to cook without spices?
It's good for inflammation.
Totally.
So, and I just lucked onto that. And I was like, oh, wow, this is awesome and cheap. You know, I'm always trying to find the cheap, cool stuff that works, you know, that doesn't kill your signal or your tone, but like gives you something unique.
Bro, my gardeners haven't been here in like a month, and this is the day they decided to come. They're like, yes, let's do acoustic with lawnmowers in the background. Can we get a little weed eater, please?
More weed eater in my monitor.
Exactly. The joys of filming. It's always lawnmowers, extra lights.
It's just like a real gig.
Yeah, totally,
people talking while you're playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Beer bottles crashing.
Well, you know what I just figured out is it's not only a lawnmower over there, it's like over there. So it must be like International Lawn Mowing Day.
It's like stereo lawn mowing.
Put some delay on that, make it sound cool. Okay, so play again, and then I'll have him mix in both sounds.
Yeah.
kick on the God pedal. How do you ever turn that off?
I know, man. It's like so addictive.
We're gonna have you come back for like a songwriting lesson.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Well, you know, it was amazing. Like Jedd was playing this whole thing in the beginning. And I'm like, man, is that a song you written? He's like, no, I'm just improvising. I'm just like, whatever. Okay, so basic tone control settings. Don't want to accentuate too much. It's not like you got an electric going on in there.
Yeah.
Maybe a little less bass than more.
Yes.
Any accentuation on the like mids or trebles or anything like that?
Not really. I just try to get enough cut to get my fingers to like, so it's not too dark.
Yeah.
And then I'm always, like sometimes with these acoustic pickups, because you are going for more of the mic sound, there's an inherent low end thing that you have to deal with. Sometimes it's like you want a high pass, you know, like 80, 100, sometimes a bit higher or below.
Yeah.
You just want to dump that low end rumble.
Yeah.
Because you just can't use that, you know, you can't get any level when you have that really low stuff happening. Yeah,
and if you don't know that, a lot of mics have a bass cut on them too, or like inside your, you know, recording program. If you're new to recording, you can get rid of the low end. A lot of times they'll like, if you're in like say GarageBand or something like that, they'll have an acoustic setting that kind of does that for you in case you don't know how to do all that stuff like myself.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they made presets. I'm like, yes. But because, you know, the interesting thing about presets though is it kind of gives you, if they're good, and oftentimes they are now, it kind of gives you a starting point like, oh, what are they doing? And you can look at what everything,
that's cool,
compressors, EQs and all that kind of stuff, and like see generally, you know, like what a good starting point.
Whatever makes it easier, man. I'm like, oh my God.
It's like,
I'm just trying to write songs.
Alchemy.
Yeah.
You know? Mic placement wise, where do you like putting the mic?
You know, I try to stay away from directly on the sound hole because that's where you get the most low end coming out of the guitar. So I shoot for around the 12th fret. Right around here is fine. You'll get a good balance of body and cut from the guitar. Okay.
Proximity wise from the mic?
You know, it kind of depends on how much I'm getting through the monitor.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm like 6 to 12 inches, somewhere in there.
What if you're like at home? Do you do this in a at-home studio recording scenario too?
Yeah, kind of similar. I mean, I don't like to eat the mic with the guitar. I like to hear a little bit of the room and kind of balance.
Sure, it's good for your teeth.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah,
could be some fluoride in there.
Yeah, exactly. A little copper in your life.
Yeah.
Okay, so 6 inches to a foot.
Yeah.
Do you ever do it? Do you set it back farther sometimes if you want a little bit more of like if the room sounds good?
Oh yeah,
that kind of a thing?
Yeah. Sometimes I'll set up a mic high in the room and turn a compressor up to where it's pumping, and I can actually feel the attack of that mic. But I get the closed sound as well, and it creates a really cool elastic kind of push and pull.
Condenser mic as well?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Okay,
Lots of tricks.
Moment of truth. I'm just going to say flat out, I need every morsel of help I can get for playing an acoustic. But if there is somehow a you know, generator of letting strings decay longer.
Yeah, I know.
I'd love to hear about it.
Well, I will say this: the one thing that I hear a lot when I hear others playing, and I can kind of tell that maybe they're not having as much fun as they could be, is they're playing with a pick.
Yeah.
So first thing you could do, an easy thing to start with, is ditch the pick and start working on just your bare fingers and getting all these fingers working together. I don't use the pinky that much, but you know, thumb, first, middle, third, you know, almost approaching it like a piano would.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And really getting control over and being aware of the fact that some parts of your fingers are brighter than others. You know, the meat in the middle is where you want to get your fat tone. But if you want something with a little more high end, hitting it with the bottom side of your finger like is often like thinner and has a little more high end. I find that things that I really want to speak, I'll I'll think about that, or I'll just do that. Man, I've been doing it for so long.
You shake the guitar too when you...
Yeah, I try to get a little bit of...
So like vibrato?
I'm almost trying to create that effect.
Yeah.
You know? Sometimes I do it too much and I see myself and I'm like, oh my God, just sit still for 5 seconds.
It's the coffee. It's the coffee talking.
It's the coffee. So you've got that going on this hand, and then it's really... What's happening with the left hand is just as, if not more important, because the pressure of the left hand pushing down on these strings is actually where you get your sustain. You know, if I'm like barely putting any pressure on the string at this point, you know, it's sort of like finite what you can get. But if I'm like...
So you actually press hard?
I press hard and I wiggle and I do everything I can to get motion, because once I'm moving that string, I'm getting this thing moving as well. What's happening.
So it's almost like a resonance between the two.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That acoustic sounds freaking ridiculous, dude.
Well, I feel like anyone can get that sound once they like really figure out those pressure moves that like really get the guitar working for you.
So you're saying it's you, not the acoustic. Okay, scratch that theory.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, anyone could do it. You know, I feel like it's one of those things that if you just work at and you pay attention to what you're doing, you can find those, you know, acoustics also have like, all acoustics have their sweet spot, right?
Yeah.
And like finding those places on the guitar is what, you know, what I always look for when I'm either buying a guitar or if I'm sitting around getting inspired. I try to find the things. I've talked about this on other videos, but like finding the natural reverb in the guitar, finding the notes that trigger the reverb, you know, like, let's see what this one is. You can find the notes that trigger the other notes inside of the guitar, you know what I mean? Like the harmonic sort of thing.
The resonance.
Yeah, like you hit a D and you can hear an A ringing higher, like those, that's a good sign that the guitar has like really good...
You're a tweaker.
I think about this stuff too much.
No, but you know, I'm just kidding when I say that, but I think that's a huge part of guitar that everyone's so fixated on gear and pedals and all this stuff to get tones, and I think they forget that the people that they're listening to that they, you know, really admire for their tones, so much of it is the player.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Stevie Ray Vaughan's going to sound like Stevie Ray Vaughan through anything. You know, obviously everybody has their days and, you know, whatever, Matt nights sound good through everything, but like it's such a huge part of it.
Yes.
And that's one thing I noticed here.
Yeah.
That being around professional players all the time is it's not just time spent practicing scales, it's time spent learning how to make everything sound good. Like a G chord in town does not sound like a G chord everywhere else. You know what I mean?
It's like, so true. Yeah. You know, it's like sitting down and figuring out how to play music as opposed to sitting down and playing just to play and go through the motions. You know what I mean? And I feel like as a songwriter, that's why the guitar is such a good vehicle and every day I feel like I'm starting over in a way because I'm trying to find something new to write a song, you know, to find a new vehicle, a new chordal anything, something.
Well, and it's all those little things that you're doing, the shaking, the, you know, finding those notes. That's like, at the end of the day, that's what makes the song really sound good. Yeah. You know, it's the emotion behind, because you guys are putting everything into every note. Where I think so much of guitar playing at the beginning and intermediate level, it's you know, actually trying to figure out how to play. Yeah. But the biggest distinguishing factor, even if you never get past like intermediate level technique wise, as far as being able to fly around on the fretboard, you can always go deeper in learning how to get, you know, pull emotion from the tones, you know, like David Gilmour, like I always use him as an example, but like, I don't think he's ever played a fast lick in his life. I don't think he can. Yeah. And it's like there's no shortage of emotion behind those notes. You know, and if anything, there's less notes, so he has to make them count even more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and when you're solo acoustic, you know, that's where those kinds of things, just small moves, technique things, small little tweaks can just make it so much more fun, you know, when you're really working the guitar and getting everything you can out of it. Because there's nothing harder than standing up there with an acoustic guitar.
Oh, dude.
And
it separates the men from the boys.
Yeah, it really does.
For sure.
You know, it's like, it's hard work, man. You got to really have everything in your arsenal that you could possibly have to make it work and to make it interesting. Who are some of your favorite like acoustic singer-songwriter? They kind of have everything. Like man, I mean Mark Knopfler's first name that comes to mind. You know, his acoustic playing.
I'll never be able to hear you say that name again without hearing that story.
Oh God, I know. I'm glad it's finally out there. You know, because it's been in close circles for a long time. But
I'll direct you guys all to the. There's a video that Jedd did with Tom Bukovac. Just the video is fantastic. Fantastic playing, but the story is worth watching the video alone.
I know, it's hilarious.
But so, yeah, obviously. I don't think, you know what I love about Mark Knopfler is I don't think Princess Bride's one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think people realize he did the soundtrack to that. Yeah. And it's like, it's freaking brilliant. Like, it's such good playing.
Genius, man. Incredible songwriter and, you know, obviously incredible guitar player. And, you know, he's one to really study the way he accompanies himself.
Yeah.
Because it's very, I mean, his sense of timing is impeccable, you know. But also, you know, he has a lot of like really unique little things that you can borrow that, you know, really help. You know, he has this thing called stutter rhythm.
Oh, yeah. It's like money for nothing. I just figured out what our next video is going to be.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah, we can get into that.
All right. Yeah. What album? Because he's got a big catalog.
So many. I mean,
give them. Okay. So you said so many. So give them. How about break it down like electric album and acoustic playing?
Well, Shangri-La is one of my favorite minimalist records.
Okay.
You know, like he's mainly acoustic on that. I mean, mainly electric on that one. And it sounds like he plays a lot of Les Paul on that one.
Yeah. Wicked tone, by the way. God.
Yeah, insanely good.
Yeah.
And the band, I mean, Chuck Ainley mixed that record. I'm pretty sure he did. And it's so good, so classy. Sailing to Philadelphia is incredible, you know, acoustic and electric. He's one that you got to go see him live. You know,
he's freaking fantastic.
Seen him a handful of times. It's just one of the best bands in the world.
Yeah,
and it just sounds so good.
Yeah, it's definite. There's plenty of clips of him on YouTube and stuff like that, so you can get the vibe. But like, go see him before you can't anymore.
Yeah, it's such a musical night.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, any other tips as far as sound goes?
Let's see. I don't know. I'm always telling people like be wary of thirds in your chords.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like we'll get onto that, but I mean like this setup, like getting acoustic tones.
I just think if you want to improve your guitar playing this week, your acoustic guitar playing, put the pick down, start playing with your fingers, and start thinking about the pressure that you're applying to your left hand to get more resonance out of the guitar. Okay. I think those couple of things, you might start having more fun.
I would imagine there's a delicate balance too, because if you press too hard, then it probably doesn't sound like you're in tune anymore.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. Yeah, you're pulling sharp.
I remember I used to play with Aaron when I was a kid, and the kid was like, you could see his like forearm like about to explode, and he's like, "My tuner says I'm in tune." I'm like, "Well, try not press."
Well, and you don't want to hammer down the whole time. You know, it's more of the initial note and attack, and then you can kind of let off, because at that point, that's triggering that, and that starts to work. Yeah, so you can kind of just, you could almost think of it like a compressor. Like it grabs the initial transient, and then the sustain holds out the note, and
Yeah.
it's kind of thinking about it that way.
Yeah.
Physically.
Yeah. You know, another thing to think about too, as far as recordings and all that stuff, obviously you need to get a good performance, but you know, I think a lot of times people forget that when they're hearing something, all that stuff is going on too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the raw track, I mean, obviously you can't fake a good performance. It's got to be good. But sometimes when you hear stuff that almost seems superhuman, it's being helped a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
In the studio and stuff. Make it sound smooth. And like you're saying, the notes last a little longer.
Yeah.
And, you know, all that stuff matters.
Yeah. And like, you know, making music out of the mistakes, you know, like I often find myself, I mean, I make mistakes all the time on sessions, you know, when I'm playing gigs, you know, we're all human. But like, just being okay with the fact that, you know, you flub something and, you know, moving on from that.
Yeah.
You know, like, I remember playing sports when I was a kid and like doing something wrong and then just like getting so caught up in my own head with the fact that I'd made a mistake that I would just start making more mistakes.
Yeah, it's like magnetic.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And he, you know, my coach came over one day and he was like, hey man, you got to let it go.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's about having fun.
Yeah.
And like,
you're like, really?
I was like, that concept when I was a kid, like really carried over to other facets of my life. And I've always thought about it in music too, because it's so easy to get hung up on the silliest things. Yeah.
And I think a lot of the best performances you will ever see and that were captured, it looks like they're having fun.
Yeah.
You know,
that's number one.
Yeah.
Always.
Awesome. All right, dude. Well, thank you so much again for coming in. And now it seems like we're going to have to do some, what'd you call it? Mark Knopfler thing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You want to get into that?
What was it?
Stutter rhythm, I call it.
No, we're gonna do a whole lesson on it. But we're going to get into stutter rhythm. So look out for that one. I'll put that one up soon. All right. Thanks, you guys, again. Check out his links. Make sure you subscribe, click the bell. Also over here, if you liked what you saw, and all this is made possible by brettpapa.com. So check that out down below. That's all about how to get better on guitar quickly and easy.
Love it.
Thanks, dude.
Thanks, Brett.
All right.
Great to see you.
Yeah, you too. Catch you next time.